in its morality? Does it really help people? And does it give proper services to that minority who still have continuing psychological problems?
And the test, of course, that came straight after the quake was about those warning systems that they've been very keen to put in place since Kobe.
Yes.
And what happens there? Because there is a few minutes, isn't there, before an earthquake with that warning system. But in Japan, there should be sirens, there should be public announcements. Are you hearing that that all took place?
I haven't yet got that evaluation. Will take a couple of months, frankly. It will depend where you are. I mean, but Japan is probably the best in the world. And don't imagine that other people are going to be all evacuating as they hear about the tsunami. Some people will go down the beach to watch it. So people's variety of responses will be quite great across the world.
Let me remind you now of our main news. The biggest earthquake to hit Japan since records began has sent a powerful tsunami sweeping inland from its northeastern coast. We are getting reports that hundreds of bodies have washed up on beaches. A correspondent we just spoke to from the state broadcaster NHK says they're confirming at least 200 bodies have been washed up on a beach near Sendai, which was the epicenter of the quake. Police also saying in Tokyo that a train traveling near the coast of Japan is unaccounted for. They are not saying, though, how many people were on board that train, but it is unaccounted for. This earthquake had a magnitude of 8.9. It struck close to the northern city of Sendai. It was the middle of the afternoon. People were at work, of course, children in school. The massive quake generated huge tsunami waves, some up to 10 meters high around Sendai's port and coastal areas as well. A tsunami warning was put in place right across the Pacific basin. So let's just update you on what we know from across the Pacific. Only minor waves reported from the Coral Islands and Taiwan. Small waves did hit the coast of the Philippines, but no reports of damage or casualties. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, a small tsunami did hit the eastern coastline. Again, no reports of damage. And Australia and New Zealand have downgraded their initial alerts. Further east, you can see here, low-lying levels, places in Hawaii have been evacuated. They've had hundreds of people go to evacuation centres there, and we understand that some big waves have hit the coast of Hawaii. An advisory is in place for the entire Pacific coast of North and South America. Certain parts of California and also the coast of Washington are on standby, ready to evacuate their residents if they need to. You can see here some of the pictures we've been getting through from Japan of the massive damage that has been done. The UN Secretary General in the last 20 minutes or so has said the UN will do anything and everything it can to help Japan after this earthquake. That's it from Impact. Thanks for joining us. Let me hand you now to my colleagues on BBC News for continuing coverage.
This is BBC News. We can recap now on the huge earthquake that's hit the northeast coast of Japan with a magnitude of 8.9, causing a 10-metre-high tsunami. The wall of water has destroyed everything in its path, tearing down buildings and sweeping cars, boats, buildings and debris several miles inland.
Police say that between 200 and 300 bodies have been found in the town of Sendai. And reports say a ship carrying 100 passengers has been swept away, and that a train is also unaccounted for in one coastal area. There has also been a report as well